look out the front, shall we? That's a good plan. So now we've done everything on all our fields that needs doing, I can actually use both tractors to do this job. Get it done a little bit quicker. There he is. Okay. It's not a very big windrower. Once again, it fits to the 3-point, it doesn't trail. So it's much easier to control in small areas. I've never tried this from the cab view, so this could be interesting. In theory, if I line up there and lower it, we should run down there and get a double row. If I'm close enough. If I'm too far away, we completely blew it. But I think the working width is about the size of the tractor. I'll take a look when we get to the end. No, silly boy. Lift. There we go. So, how's that look? I would say we did quite well with that. Awesome. And the real dirt mod, we have green tyres. Hi David, how you doing? So let's get back in and keep doing this job. Another angle on. Off we go. So yeah, the next size up of windrower, I believe, does twice this width. But you end up creating the same size row with both of them. You just have to drive twice as far with this one. So from what I found on this map, all the fields are, or all the grass fields are defined fields. So you don't have to, you can use workers for mowing, you can use workers for windrowing, and you have to do the baling yourself. Oops. Sorry. My setup, I have a G29 steering wheel and pedals. But I do have the Cytec heavy equipment side panel. I bought the side panel and the wheel failed within 2 weeks. of light use. So I contacted SciTech and said, hey, your wheel sucks. They said, oh, no problems, we'll send you a new one. So they did. And that broke in exactly the same way as the first one. And so at that point I just said, well, to heck with this. What happened to my windrow? Oh, did I not lower it? Oh, I'm an idiot. Yeah, so I said to heck with this. And the two wheels are now on a little wooden table that I made so that the kids can play with them. And I have a G29, which works quite nicely. Okay, let's try this again, lower it, then drive down the row. But the side panel works quite nicely, so I'm still using that. Now, since I bought them, I mean, okay, when I bought them, Logitech had already purchased SciTech, so it was Logitech selling off old SciTech equipment. I understand that now they've sold out of all the old SciTech branded equipment, and Logitech are making the wheel and side panel themselves. I don't know if their quality is any better than the SciTech one. I would hope it is, but frankly I'm not inclined to buy a new one from them. Although the wheel has two little joysticks on it which you can use for walking around and turning, which very nice feature that I don't have on the G29. So to walk around I have to use the keyboard, which is a bit of a pain, but having a working wheel is also much more advantageous. The wheel itself failed when you turned the wheel 90 degrees to what would it be, 270, 360 plus that. It was between 90 and 450 degrees to the left. It would short out the wheel, which would also have the effect of shorting out the anything that was on the same USB circuit. USB ports usually come in pairs, and so whatever was plugged in, and I tried it, initially I had the wheel and the side panel plugged into adjacent USB circuits, but for science I unplugged the side panel and put something else into the other USB socket, and when the wheel shorted out, that piece of equipment failed as well. So pretty much nailed it that yeah, you're shorting out the USB circuit. Finished mowing already. That did that lower? Yes, that did lower. Okay. Ouch. $1,000 wages in the last hour. It's getting expensive, guys. I think I'll do the rest of the field work in this tractor, and I'll hitch the Deutz up to the trailer so that we can actually have a tractor on the trailer when we lift the bales on the back. won't struggle to get to the barn with a tiny tractor with only 85 horsepower. So I think this field is bigger than the other one. And hello, 1 2 3 4 4 5 5 6 6 7 7 5 8 6 9 5. Okay. Because we're pretty much down to this one field needs doing. So it's the sort of thing I can do on my own. I don't need a helper working. So at that point, you save the money. I'm not sure there's any other tasks on this farm right now that I want to get done in such rapid succession that I need both tractors running. So I can just pick the tractor that's most appropriate for the job. I think the baler needs 85 horsepower. This tractor's adequate for that. And the wrapper doesn't need much in the way of power either. But this tractor doesn't play well with that mower. I tried it initially on the other field and I lowered the mower to the ground and turned it on and that was fine. And I tried to move the tractor and it wouldn't move, so I'm guessing that possibly the placement on the 3-point hitch is a little bit off and is creating too much pressure on the ground so that I can't move the mower. I can run around with the mower turned off. Yeah, as a transport tractor it works, but as a working tractor on that mower it doesn't work. So proof that the expanded dirt mod works, because we're getting green on the tyres. I haven't really noticed that we get green all over the tractor though. I was considering running this farm as a Hurleman farm, but I could not find the XMT4i. There is a mod out there for it, but it's very poor quality. So I decided not to go with that. Which is a bit of a shame. Let's do it again. So because I'm using the side panel, get out of the tractor is just above lower the implement, which is why I keep jumping out at random. But yeah, I discovered the Hurleman XMT4i in Farm Sim 17 very last weekend, before Farm Sim 19 came out, and It's a very nice tractor. Actually, this is the first farm I've played where I am not using my recommended builds for tractors. Although I have since discovered that the Deutz could fit my recommended build. In general, when I'm starting a farm, especially if I'm only going to have one tractor, I need a front loader, I need front and rear 3-point with PTO, and I need the ability to put narrow tyres on the tractor so that it can work as a fertilising tractor. Now, the Deutz can have a 3-point at the front, and I discovered if it's got a 3-point at the front, it can have a front loader attachment, but I didn't know that when I bought it. And I actually ended up upgrading it to a weight on the front and decided, well, I'll get another small cheap tractor that I can have a front loader on. So this tractor has the front loader. And I have 2 tractors on the farm. And neither of them have a power attachment at the front. But then I've made sure that all of my equipment doesn't require a front attacher. So I have the Kuhn side mower rather than rather than a front mower. Oh wow! Now that does look cool. Okay, we have grass dirt all over the tractor too. Start the engine and we will fold that up. Is the exit to the right? Yes, it is. Get that out of the way. That looks kind of weird. Missed that bit, but it did the bit at the top. Yeah, well. Guessing it could have cut this bit, but I didn't want to. So we'll finish that bit off. And fold that up. No, I can't move that tractor yet. This one's in the way. Okay, so put the mow. Actually, we'll wash this kit now. We've done all the mowing you're going to need to do until next harvest. Squeak. Surprisingly not dirty. Not significantly dirty. So what do I need now? I need the trailer. Where is it? Oh, I need the trailer modded. Okay. Well, that was hopeless. Try that again. Oops, too close. And drop that. Move forwards. Okay, so we're going to need to take the sides off the tipper again. Oh, reverse. There we go. If you pull past the repair point, yeah, it could still do with having an arrow, so you can select the piece of equipment. Back. Nope, that was what I wanted to do. Customize. I'll leave the back off this time. There we go. Get back in there and reattach. I'll pull over here and stop. Because we're not going to need that for a while. Once again, not really a big fan of round balers, but with the size of the farm as it is, you can get a round baler just places you can't get a square one. The other alternative is a small loading wagon. The problem is the small. We've got a big small loading wagon. Farm Sim 17 had a much smaller loading wagon, which was generally much more usable on small farms. So it only had a single axle. Okay. I need to lower, turn on up on the grass. Actually, quite late on in Farm Sim 17, someone actually did the two smaller cousins of the small. Of the small Pottinger loading wagon. So you can get something that was even more agile. It was only about 16,000 litres. The smallest one was, the small one was, or the in-game one, sorry, was about 21,300 litres. And I'm not picking anything up because it's full. Come over here and unload it. Sometimes you need small agile equipment, and some of this equipment just isn't small enough. A little bit more, there we go. The farmer local to where I live, he doesn't have a windrower or a rake, but the mower he uses that's the row I wanted to go down. Okay. The rake, the mower he uses leaves the grass in a good row. Then what he does is he does alternate rows when he's baling, so it doesn't overstrain the hitch on the baler. And obviously, because he's not using a windrower, his rows are much closer together. That row up a little bit. I may have to come back there. Can't see the lid in the back. So what he'd then do is come to this one, and we'll go down this one instead of the immediately adjacent one. It looks like even though we didn't get clean rows here, oops, the baler does have a wide enough pickup that we are getting it all. Something I've noticed difference between Farm Sim 17 and 19 is that balers and loading wagons tend to be a little bit more lenient in their working width. I mean, you still can't row 15 rows together and they'll still pick it up, but think someone was saying on one of the forums that you could mow a field and leave the grass on the field and come back and mow it again. Do that 3 times and then windrow it. You get huge windrows. But if you do it a 4th time, then you create a row that is too wide for the baler or loading wagon to cope with. So you're going to have to turn right and then come about. I'm guessing this is part of the field too. Yeah, quite probably. We'll find out when we. What are we going to do? Plough it. I'm going to take the ends off these rows. So we're a little bit too close to the edge of the field. And we come back to here and we'll do this row. And take it easy, unload. Close to the end too. So I'm watching the bale load. When we hit 4,000 we stop. Oh, there we go. And then I'm watching the right hand rear view mirror. And you'll see the gate open. As soon as it stops beeping we can close it. Now we're good to go. That's how I know what I'm doing and where I am. That's the next row. A little bit there on the left I missed from the windrow. Whoa, too fast. So now I need to reverse a little bit. That should probably do it. We unload, we see the gate go up, we see the gate come down, and off we go again. Oh, we missed the top end of that row. Up, gate comes down. I'm kind of liking it. It's a very basic map. There's not a lot going on, but the fields are small, and so I can get a lot of different things done. Whoops. Let's pull over to the side this time. Part of the problem I have with things like Maypole Manor is it's a beautiful map, but the fields are big. It takes me 2 hours to get anything done. Plant a field, harvesting a field, ploughing a field's a good 5 hours, and yeah, when it comes to streaming farm sim, that really doesn't make for good viewing. And the fields are awkward shapes, so it's not like the workers are particularly good at it either. So you're always having to go back. Oh, I didn't notice the baler was full. I'm going to have to pull forward so that I can see the gate when it closes. There we go. Okay, gate closed. And Marwell's a small farm, so you can't, it's very difficult to get around the farmyard with, say, a case harvester and a 45-foot draper. So, yeah, you kind of want to stick to smallish equipment, or at least medium-sized equipment, but it takes its toll. Yeah, there's some. This is definitely a one-man farm. I can do this very, very easily. Now I've spent a lot of money on workers because I bought a lot of fields and I needed a lot of stuff done in short order. But it wasn't necessarily a requirement. I could have just said, oh, well, we'll take our time. I'll seed one field, I'll plough the next field, I'll seed that field, etc., etc. But initially, I had 2 tractors on the go. One was ploughing stuff in, and the other one was seeding or doing other jobs around the farm. Be interesting to look at the finances and see where we got to. I'm just going to do one final pass down this end of the field, see if there's any obvious grass. And if not, we'll get out of first person, and yeah, that bit over there is also grass fields, but I've already put the mower away, so we're kind of good. We've got 1,500 extra. It's not significant. I'm not sure I'm really going to bother. Okay, so all the big mounds are gone. We can turn that off. Now there's a couple of patches, but next time we mow that field we can come back and do it again. Actually, we're going to plough that field first, so that grass will be destroyed. But we'll get a better yield from it because the field's ploughed. At least that's my assumption. So we can wash up this equipment, get the wrapper in there. We'll wrap those bales and then we'll come over with both tractors and I cleaned the tractor after the last job, so yeah, no green tyres. Okay. Now reversing the baler in I'm going to have to do from third person because it's a bit bigger than the rear view mirror allows. Yeah, I can see to reverse that. And it also the other nice thing about this farm is it gives you the opportunity to use really small equipment. and probably not. You don't need to worry about getting bigger equipment either. I mean, that windrower is going to do me just fine. The mower is going to do me just fine, and I don't have what is it? I don't have front attachers on any of my tractors, so it's not like I could fit a front mower and use it. Yellow on yellow. This is a metallic yellow. Apparently Valtra factory colours, among others. They have, they do a red, green, blue, yellow, orange, white, black and silver, and they do them in flat and metallic. So this is metallic yellow. The tractor's a mod. Comes in the pack with all 4 Valtra models, A through S, and has also apparently all of the Valtra engine options. So this one, the in-game Valtra A, the smallest engine you can get on it is the 100 horsepower. And this one is 85 horsepower and costs about $13,000 less than the in-game one, because you're giving up 15 horsepower. It also has engines up to 130, 140, can't remember. But that gives you more engine options than the in-game one. The in-game one has 100 horse and 110, so I can get a smaller horsepower tractor or a larger one. It's very slightly larger. The N version also has smaller engine options, but at the upper end it's 145, 165, 203, the same as the in-game version. The T, which I'm using on Maypole Manor, I think starts at 150 horsepower and goes up to the 200 odd that the in-game version has. So once again, I needed a 180 horsepower tractor for some of the equipment I'm using on Maypole, so I picked 190, which saves me money over the in-game one, which starts about 210. Obviously the round wrapper is a mod because it wasn't released in game, although it is a Giants mod. Although different from the Farm Sim 17 version, in-game version, it does come with varying options of wrap colour. So you can get the white, black, pink and green. I do not advise using green, it can get lost on some maps. Black's more of an authentic option for the British Isles, because temperatures tend to be a little bit cooler, and so a black wrap will absorb heat better than white. But that can result in you losing your bales if you leave them in the shade of a tree for example, which this map has a lot of. No, let's try and press the right button. Get one over here. There's what, 3 more after this. So how many bales did we make so far today? 22. Yeah, so 12 this time out. Hush. Come over here and get these 2. And we'll pick up the other one on the way out. So 12 bales on the trailer. That's going to make it interesting, because that will be capacity. Challenge my stacking skills a little bit more than the last one did. Very tight on the tow bar, that. So yeah, much easier than the job I'm doing on Marwell. I think I did square bales on Marwell, because quite frankly you're producing over 100 at a time. But even so, wrapping a ton of them does take a while. And I don't have Follow Me, which on Farm Sim 17 Lawfolds I don't mind doing over 100 bales at a time, because I've got me in the mower and Follow Me dude baling and another Follow Me dude wrapping. So it's a very, I don't have to worry about unloading balers or anything like that. So that was wrapped. Wrapper goes back in this shed here. And we can look out the back window and see where we're going this time. Nope. Very gently. Lovely job. So yeah, oops, drop, thank you. So that shed's a little bit low to get so much of the equipment in. Okay, let's go get the front loader reattached. Should be a little box just in front of the window down there for those hoses to connect to. But that's two different mods for. Yeah, they're compatible, but find the edge there. There we go. Stuck on the hedge. Maybe there's a fence inside, I'm not sure. We'll put this in the middle of the field so that I can access both sides. The field needs to be ploughed. We're going to need to do this from an external view. Okay, how are we doing there? Actually, that's pretty good. We'll go and get one of the bales from the other side. Oops, what did we hit? We hit the front guard. That's pretty good placement there. Just to go on a little bit further there. Pretty good. And no, don't do that. No, you don't want to do that. Okay, let's flush against the front. Ugh. That's annoying. Stay. Oh. Okay, we'll cheat. Oh, seriously? Come on. No, you're not playing fair. Let's try and get it straight, shall we? Yay, bingo. Okay, get off, strap it down. There we are. Now the challenge with these forks is as you raise it up and down, it tips the forks as well. I believe the in-game arms kind of leave the fork angle unadjusted. Oops. Poke that a little bit too high up, I think. Straighten up, and we're going to need to lift that. Drag that off the thing again. Okay. Let's lift that up a little bit, pull it back, push it down, and retreat. And yay. Not exactly. Perfect, but hey, it's on the trailer and it's where I wanted it, so yay. I should probably have tied that one down too. Close. Oh, let's lift that up. Move back a little bit. Okay. Push that on. And put it flat. And out it comes. I do not have enough room for another bale on the back of this trailer. That's a pity. I probably do have enough room for one bale right in the back in the middle. Maybe we'll have a go at that. Okay. That wasn't a particularly good spike, but actually that was a incredibly poor spike. Okay. Because of the way I spiked that, I'm going to stick that on top. Because I like a challenge. How's that look? Lift it up and do that. Put it down and withdraw. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes. Okay. Possible. Okay. Let's go find another one. this time let's grab it if we're going to bias it on the left fork. Okay. Once again, probably shouldn't have them tied down. Kind of unrealistic. However, so's farm sim physics, so to heck with it. Should be. No, I had the wheel turned. Let's get it straight and in. Down, down, and retract. And done. Next. 3 over there. So yeah, looking at this from the side, missed again. Only lifting the fork, it's going to tip the bale back towards me. I don't think that happens on the in-game forks or on the in-game arms and forks. Did we strap that one down? No, we didn't. Okay. The backstops are done, so we're good. And retract, and we're good. Strap that lot down. And the last one is somewhere under there. There we go. Okay, second layer. Probably have gone with silver forks, at least that way I could see them in contrast to the ground and the bale. Say lifting the front wheels off the ground with the forks also probably not realistic, and would probably bend the forks. Careful. I haven't bought a weight for any of the tractors yet, so this This one appears to have sufficient weight for the oh, am I looking at middle bale? Yes, I am. Go straight and drop and a little bit more. Okay, I will strap front and back. I'm going to have to push that middle one and reload the other side. Raise the fork angle a little and stabby stabby. Yay. Oh, come on. Pay attention. Get the wheels on the ground. Thank you. Forwards a little more. And back up. It's a little bit off centre, but it's up there. And now it's tied down. So it's not going anywhere. Okay. 2 more. And I want to bias it to the right fork, if anything. Zoink. Turn it that way a bit, and that should. Nope, it's not going to work. Maybe I need to lift it. There we go. That's about as good as it's going to get. Okay. Okay. That'll have to do there. And there, and one more. I'm actually wondering if I could do this from inside the cab, because that frame on top of the arms seems to indicate whether the if I keep that vertical, that should mean that the forks are horizontal. Okay, how's that look? Okay. Side, rotate, nope, back up, other foot peg for back up, lift, forwards, down, and retract.